just want the news, they want the truth. What others hide, I bring to you with evidence. Politics, corruption, human rights. No filters, no fear, just facts. I don't stop until the system shakes. From fiery statements by Indian ministers threatening to erase Pakistan from the map, to Pakistan's armed forces quietly preparing for a potential confrontation, South Asia is once again standing at the edge of a dangerous escalation. But this time, there is a new element that could completely redefine the battlefield. A strategic weapon known as Fatah-IV, Pakistan's latest precision strike cruise missile that signals both restraint and readiness. There are a few questions. Why is India's leadership using war rhetoric again? What has Pakistan learned from the May 2025 conflict? And could this next clash, if it comes, spiral beyond control? This is Makhdoom Shahabuddin and you're watching Fact Flow, where we break down geopolitics with clarity, facts, and a true lens. Tensions began rising again after a series of alarming and aggressive statements by Indian leadership. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh warned that any action will receive a decisive reply that will change Pakistan's history and geography. India's army chief declared that restraint would not be exercised next time, that Pakistan could be erased from the map. The air chief vowed to hit terror targets anywhere in Pakistan. Even the external minister Jai Shankar described the takeover of Pakistan's territory as a national commitment. For any responsible state, these are not words to be ignored. They are deliberate escalations, politically charged, dangerous, and destabilizing. On the other hand, Pakistan responded calmly but firmly. The military's ISPR reaffirmed that Pakistan is a responsible nuclear state committed to peace, but any aggression would invite a resolute and mutual response. So why this renewed hostility? Because India's ruling BJP-RSS alliance faces growing domestic pressure, a weakening economy, rising unemployment, and internal dissent. Their only reliable political tool has become manufactured nationalism. The RSS ideology thrives on hostility towards Pakistan. In times of political weakness, war rhetoric becomes a way to consolidate support. The result, a cycle of provocation where aggressive statements substitute for governance. The short but intense May 2025 confrontation, dubbed Operation Sindoor by India, followed by game-changing Operation Bunyanum Marsoos by Pakistan, changed the strategic equation forever. It was the most serious clash between the two nuclear neighbors in decades. The four-day conflict saw multi-domain warfare, missile duels, precision drone strikes, cyber attacks, and limited naval maneuvers. But most importantly, it proved one thing. India's dream of a limited, quick victory against Pakistan is a fantasy. Pakistan's full-spectrum deterrence strategy forced India to retreat after failing to secure any meaningful military advantage. Indian forces used high-value assets like BrahMos and Scalp EG missiles in desperation, weapons meant for an all-out war. Pakistan's decision not to respond with strategic weapons was both wise and calculated, allowing it to study those systems and adopt counter-technologies. That restraint strengthened Pakistan's deterrence and exposed India's lack of strategic depth. In the aftermath, Pakistan refined its defensive posture. The message is clear. Pakistan does not seek war, but it will never allow aggression to go unanswered. Three key developments reflect this readiness in response to the latest provocation by Indian leadership. The first, a NOTAM has been issued over the Arabian Sea, signaling a missile test, part of routine preparations and deterrence drills. Number two, Deployment of Fatah-IV cruise missile began, giving Pakistan a precise, long-range, low-cost strike capability that fills the spaces between conventional and nuclear deterrence. Number 3, air defense and coastal commands have been elevated to high alert, ensuring instant response to any misadventure. Pakistan's philosophy remains rooted in restraint and proportionality, deterrence without provocation. But if attacked, its response will be swift, precise, and decisive. Having failed to achieve political dividends from Indian Army and Air Force, analysts believe India may now explore a naval option to project strength. Recent remarks by Rajnath Singh about Sar Creek, the 96-kilometer meshy border between Sindh and Gujarat, point in this direction. He hinted that one route to Karachi passes through Sar Creek. Such rhetoric is not random. It's a deliberate signal designed to justify a potential maritime confrontation. Sar Creek isn't just a border dispute. It's tied to control over lucrative exclusive economic zones and undersea hydrocarbon reserves. By elevating this issue now, India seeks both political mileage and strategic distraction. But Pakistan has anticipated this move. The Arabian Sea NOTAM, the deployment of Fatah-IV, and strengthened coastal radar systems demonstrate Islamabad's foresight. Any Indian attempt at maritime adventurism would meet immediate and overwhelming retaliation. The Pakistan Navy, equipped with cruise missile armed platforms and Chinese-enabled radar and air defense systems, maintain a strong sea denial posture. A naval misstep by India wouldn't just endanger regional peace, it would threaten global trade routes, drawing international condemnation. At the center of Pakistan's renewed deterrence architecture stands the Fatah-IV, a long-range precision-guided ground-launched cruise missile (GLCM) that could redefine the next conflict. With a range of over 700 kilometers, the Fatah-IV can strike deep into Indian territory with pinpoint accuracy. It carries a conventional warhead of roughly 330 kilograms, capable of neutralizing command centers, radar installations, and logistics hubs. What makes it exceptional is its terrain-hugging flight profile, flying at just 50 meters above the ground. This allows it to evade India's expensive S-400 air defense systems, appearing on radar only seconds before the impact, when it's too late. This isn't a weapon of aggression, it's a tool of deterrence. Pakistan's strategy is to raise the cost of Indian adventurism without escalating it to the nuclear level. During the May 2025 conflict, Pakistan deliberately withheld such systems to preserve secrecy. That decision allowed its engineers to refine guidance systems, stealth coatings, and launch mobility. The Fatah-IV now provides what strategists call a calibrated escalation ladder, strong enough to deter India's limited strikes, but mired enough to prevent uncontrollable escalation. Simply put, the Fatah-IV makes war an unaffordable option for India. The May 2025 clash taught both militaries crucial lessons. It was the world's first mini-war fought simultaneously on land, air, and sea, and cyberspace as well. Drones and electronic warfare dominated the battle space. Pakistan's use of over 400 unmanned aerial vehicles across 36 targets from the line of control to deep inside India demonstrated its expanding multi-domain capability. India's heavy reliance on traditional air and ground power looked outdated. The crisis also revealed a chilling truth. In South Asia, there is no buffer for miscalculation. The geography compresses reaction time to minutes. The line between conventional and nuclear thresholds is razor thin. Pakistan's leadership understood this and exercised restraint, not weakness, but wisdom. That restraint won diplomatic support from allies and underscored Pakistan's image as a responsible state in an irresponsible neighborhood. To understand India's aggression, one must understand its ideology. The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and its parent organization, the RSS, are not just political entities. They are ideological movements built on Hindutva extremism. Their goal is to reshape India into a Hindu Rashtra, a state where minorities, especially the Muslims, are second-class citizens. This ideology rejects the two-nation theory and aspires for Akhand Bharat, an undivided India under Hindu dominance. For them, Pakistan's very existence is an ideological insult. That's why aggression toward Pakistan is not just policy, it's a dogma. Domestically, this ideology translates into suppression in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, communal violence against minorities, and the use of media as a propaganda machine. Externally, it fuels hostility and adventurism. When the BJP faces electoral or governance crisis, it turns to the old formula: provoke Pakistan, rally voters, and call it national pride. It's politics built on hate, not strategy. Both Pakistan and India are nuclear armed, and that alone makes this rivalry among the most dangerous in the world. India claims a no first use policy, but its action and constant talk of surgical strikes undermine that claim. Pakistan follows full spectrum deterrence, ensuring that entry level of aggression meets an appropriate response, including, if necessary, a tactical nuclear use to prevent national dismemberment. The problem is geography. In South Asia, reaction times are so short that even a conventional clash can spiral out of control within minutes. A misread radar signal, a cyber attack, or a false alarm could ignite a catastrophe. Studies by the international research bodies warn that a full-scale nuclear exchange could kill up to 125 million people instantly and trigger a global nuclear winter, collapsing agriculture and food supply worldwide. That's why Pakistan's emphasis on responsible deterrence is not just about self-defense, it's about preventing global catastrophe. In the diplomatic domain, Pakistan continues to advocate dialogue, restraint, and international mediation. During the 2025 conflict, back-channel diplomacy led by the United States, China, and Gulf states helped de-escalate tensions. Pakistan's diplomatic success lies in making world see that regional instability stems from India's internal politics, not Pakistan's actions. Islamabad has repeatedly urged international partners to recognize that India's information warfare, its attempts to brand Pakistan as the perpetual aggressor, Islamabad has repeatedly urged international partners to recognize that India's information warfare, its attempts to brand Pakistan as the perpetual aggressor, is a smokescreen for Hindutva politics. Meanwhile, Pakistan continues to strengthen partnerships with China and other allies, enhancing deterrence and balance in South Asia. If another confrontation were to erupt, it would not resemble the war of the past. Light tank battles would give way to precision missile duels, cyber offensives, drone swarms, and maritime blockades. India would attempt limited punitive strikes using BrahMos or the other missiles, hoping for a short symbolic victory. Pakistan's response would be immediate and symmetrical. Volleys of Fatah-IV cruise missile targeting military command centers, fuel depots, and radar networks. No conflict in South Asia remains bilateral for long. The May 2025 crisis proved that great powers, particularly the United States, must intervene to prevent escalation. Washington's mediation, along with Beijing's quiet support for de-escalation, confirmed Pakistan's diplomatic leverage. Pakistan has since used that leverage to shift the Kashmir issue back into international conversation, a major diplomatic achievement. Yet the challenge remains: India's information and propaganda ecosystem continues to mislead global opinion. Pakistan must respond proactively, not defensively, by highlighting that it is the stabilizing actor in the region, while India's Hindutva-driven politics are the real destabilizer. South Asia today stands closer to the edge than at any point in recent history. India's militarized nationalism and Hindutva-driven aggression have normalized the idea of conflict. But Pakistan's responsible restraint remains the only real safeguard against a catastrophe. The deployment of missiles is not an act of provocation. It is a declaration of readiness, ensuring that peace is preserved through credible deterrence. Pakistan's message to the world is simple. We do not seek war, but if war is imposed, we will respond decisively, proportionally, and on our own terms. In the end, deterrence is not about destruction. It's about preventing those who crave conflict from crossing the line. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Pakistan Connect for more episodes of Fact Flow.